Hey everybody, Katie here with Backwoods Pursuits, and welcome back to the channel. I'm hiking way back into an area that I've hunted the last couple years, and am continuously learning and just learning more and more, so I know this area kind of like the back of my hand. But this year, after deer season, and when I started doing some postseason scouting, when I could get out here after the majority of the snow had melted, I found a really nice big community scrape. It's kind of in between and around some doe bedding, but it was a nice big scrape, so I want to hike in here today and put up a game camera over that scrape. So that's basically my mission for the day, now that the road is closed back here, so it's probably a good mile and a half, mile and 3/4 hike back in. So we're just going to enjoy our nice walk, enjoy this beautiful day, and go put up a game camera, so stick around. So there's a scrape right here. You see these lots of heavy trails that come right into it, but look at the size of this thing. This is a whole big giant scrape right here. So you can see right here, there's a branch broken for a licking branch here. You can see years past, this is broken off. This was a licking branch. I think there's a couple over here, and then there's a whole nother. Jib, are you tired? What were you chasing? Whole nother nice size licking branch right here. You know, it's broken off high, but it's nice that it hangs down a little bit. Yeah, it's a heck of a scrape. Look at the size of that thing. So I'm gonna find a perfect tree to put the camera up, and we'll get this thing hung and turned on, and we'll leave this spot alone. Gonna hang it right in this tree, probably right up in there somewhere. I'm gonna use my stick, get it up a little bit, put it right in this maple, and as you can see, the view it'll have, well, it'll be up a little bit high, but the view it'll have looking right down at that scrape right in front of us. I can see both of those licking branches, a good view. I'm not dead on the scrape. I thought about hanging it at that tree, pointing it straight on, but I like to be, if I can, a little at an angle, kind of get a little better idea of which way they're coming and going. The other nice thing that is nice about how this scrape sets up, especially for putting the trail camera, is where we're looking right now is facing due north, so I won't have any problems with the sun bothering or messing with the camera, or, you know, making it hard to see the pictures. So, all right, I'm gonna get this stick put on the tree, and we'll get the camera on there and turn it on. All right. So I absolutely love putting game cameras over community scrapes. I find a lot of scrapes in the woods, but not all scrapes are created equal. Community scrapes, in my opinion, are the absolute best ones you can find to hunt over or near, and to drop a camera in and monitor. It's going to give you a ton of intel of what's in the area. You're going to get a ton of good pictures. I know a lot of people like to use minerals. Well, out here in the Allegheny National Forest, you're not allowed to use minerals. You're not allowed to use minerals on state lands, state game land, state forest. I know that that's a way that people like to get a lot of good intel, because it brings a lot of deer into a certain area. Well, community scrape does the same thing, but it's even more natural. I mean, this is something the deer made. I didn't make this. It's something the deer made. It's something they're using actively. So I don't even put any scent on a community scrape. I don't use any pre-orbital scent. It's already on there. If you have these licking branches, you already have your scent. I don't put anything on the ground, but a community scrape is actually used year-round. The bucks might not come in and dig up at it and paw at it. They'll do that more towards the pre-rut and the rut, but they'll still come in and they'll hit that licking branch. They'll rub their pre-orbital glands on it. Doe, fawn, if you have licking branches that are low enough for fawn to get, everything that comes through here will hit it. It's like a giant communication area. Another reason I'd much rather put a camera up over a community scrape than using minerals, well, there's actually a couple reasons that I don't really care for using minerals, but that could be a whole nother video. But as far as why I would much rather put it on a community scrape and just let it be natural than putting it on minerals, is I can still hunt this scrape. I didn't put anything here. We're not allowed to bait in Pennsylvania. You're not allowed to hunt over minerals in Pennsylvania. So if I were to make a mineral site and just use it for inventory, that's fine. If you do it on land that's legal, of course. It wouldn't be legal here. But the fact that I can just get the same results by putting it over a community scrape, but also dual purpose, because I could come in here, pick out a tree, and hunt right over this scrape. So that's just another reason that I'd much rather put it on a community scrape instead of putting it over minerals. I'm still going to get the inventory, but I could also hunt it too.
You just got yourself all dirty again, Jeb. Real thick in here. Real heavy the trails get here. Someone put a mineral site here. That's almost what it looks like. Look at all this. Look, there's some trees that were cut. Yeah, these were all cut. I bet this was someone's mineral site here. Holy cow. Look how many deer are coming into this spot. It's just right in the middle of this really, really thick area. Make sure there's no... Hold on, make sure there's no game cameras around. Well, I didn't see any game cameras around, but this was definitely a mineral site that's probably been used year after year after year, and it's become a waller. I mean, I don't even know. I have to grab a big stick and see how... It's almost like quicksand, that stuff there, but I mean, you can see all the deer tracks in here. They're just hitting this all the time. Look at this. It's unbelievable. But I start looking a little bit closer, and look at... Those are all cut branches. Someone cleared this. Start seeing all these, you know, trees that were cut. There's one there. There's a whole bunch of them. And then, of course, you have this. I look over here, and it's like just weirdly open, you know. And then look at, there's a whole pile of sticks here. Someone cut all these, cleared this whole little area out and made a pile of sticks there. Another pile of sticks there. And there's a hemlock that I bet they're hunting in. You can see they cut off some limbs there. They probably climb right up there with a climber or put a tree stand in here and hunt right over that mineral site. So last year I found another area that was very similar to this, and I actually found remnants of a like a salt block or a mineral block, but it was a very similar area right down near the bottom here, in where it's really, really thick, and someone came in and just cut down a bunch of trees and opened it up a little bit, which National Forest is illegal. You're not even supposed to screw a hanger into a tree, let alone cut a whole little clearing out. The spot I found last year was very similar, in a very thick area down in the bottom. It cut out just a small little opening in a very thick area, and then there was a hemlock tree that they had cut limbs off of that you could tell they were using as their stand, and it was about the same distance. This hemlock's probably about 25 yards from this waller here. So another reason I don't really like the mineral sites is because, and you know, number one, you're not allowed to hunt over bait in Pennsylvania. That's just the law. Number two, you can't even use minerals, like I said, on national forests, state game lands, state forests. So you have to, if you are going to go put a mineral site out, you got to make sure that you're doing it in a legal area. There are timberlands that you can do it on. You just got to make sure and find out. And of course, your own private property, you can do it. You still can't hunt over them though. And you have to be, I think it's like 100 yards, maybe 200 yards away from a mineral site if you're hunting. So, you know, I get frustrated because I could get in trouble if I'm hunting 50 yards away and the game commission say, you know, someone called about the mineral site or they stumbled upon it or something, and they go out and they start looking and I'm out hunting. I could get busted for that even though I had nothing to do with it, even if I didn't know it was there, even if I didn't put it there. Because how can I prove that I didn't, first off? And so just another reason to really know the area you're hunting like the back of your hand, because you don't want to get in trouble, be hunting too close to one of these sites. So, I don't know. I would much rather put a game camera on a community scrape because you can hunt over it and you can hunt over it legally. That was a great hike. Mission accomplished. Got the game camera set up over that community scrape. Did a little bit of scouting. And honestly, just even finding that mineral site, it's a bummer and it's frustrating sometimes. You know, in an area that I've put a lot of time into as well. But still good to find it, because then I can mark it and I can know and make note that I got to be away from there. And you know, I don't want to be anywhere too close where people are anyway, so good to see. Oh my gosh, you got to see Gypsy. You think she's hot? Anyways, I forget what I was saying exactly. I think something along the lines of just that even finding those mineral sites, they frustrate me sometimes when people are in there illegally, you know, making a little clearing and putting a mineral site in and hunting over it. It can be a little bit frustrating, especially in an area that I, you know, am hunting around or I'm learning and find good areas. But all aside, it's still a good thing to find and make note of. It's still good intel, just knowing where other people are hunting. So finding things like that and tree stands and stuff like that, still good intel to have, because I just know to avoid those areas or maybe even use them to my advantage. But overall, mission accomplished today. Got that game camera hung up over that community scrape. I'm super excited to see some pictures, what kind of pictures we get and video, and just to kind of learn a little bit more of the area and monitor that scrape, see what kind of intel we have for the upcoming season. But we're pretty tired, so we're going to head home, relax a little bit. So I really appreciate you guys watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, consider subscribing to the channel, and stay tuned for the next video.